That's unbelievable. But this is inspired by the summer that you spend at the beach with your family. So what is it like to share that time with your children?
It's amazing. I mean, there are only 3 places in the country where Black folks were allowed to summer on the beach.
A live daytime talk show often promises friendly debates and witty remarks. Then one segment abruptly flips the entire conversation upside down, and viewers are left with jaws dropped. Right now, The View features one of those chaotic moments as Behar and sunny Hostin face off in a confrontation that stuns the audience and ignites a heated media storm. Joy usually delivers punchy, comedic takes on politics and culture. Sunny, meanwhile, is known for her powerful stance against systemic racism and her calls for accountability. But a startling genealogy report now reveals that Sunny's own ancestor once held slaves, and this bombshell collides with an enormous lawsuit from Melania Trump, who claims she has endured damaging commentary. Conservative pundits jump in, fueling an already blazing fire. Tensions at The View soar to new heights, and viewers wonder how 2 seasoned co-hosts, who generally champion openness, can descend into a war of words on live television.
I definitely am a journaler, so I did that piece, and I also just sort of sat down and dictated a lot of my memories, and I just started from the beginning. I started from my childhood in the South Bronx projects.
The stage is set for an explosive showdown, and nobody sees it coming until it happens. The entire country tunes in to see what ignites such fury between these 2 colleagues. The answer involves hidden family history, hints of hypocrisy, and a lawsuit that seems to tie everything together. Now, even the most casual viewer can sense that a storm is brewing, one that reveals the complicated intersection of personal ethics, comedic boundaries, and public image. Sunny Hostin often expresses firm moral convictions, especially when she addresses America's troubling racial legacy. In countless segments, she calls for historical accountability, demands the removal of Confederate symbols, and denounces attempts to downplay centuries of injustice.
Well, for me, the two moments are connected in a couple of ways, but I decided to become a prosecutor because I saw my uncle in front of me. And I saw that he didn't seem to matter to the police.
Her commentary strikes a chord with many who share her passion for social reform. But now, a PBS genealogy show uncovers a twist that catches her off guard. One branch of her family tree includes a 3rd great-grandfather who owned slaves in the 1800s. This revelation sends ripples through the studio and across social media, because viewers expect Sunny to react with the same fire she normally directs at others. Instead, she appears momentarily dismissive, calling it a product of its era. Some supporters argue that she needs time to process such difficult news. Critics claim her cool response violates her own standard for moral outrage. Fox's Greg Gutfeld seizes on this, calling it proof of selective accountability. Fans on all sides debate whether Sunny's entire public stance is compromised, or if she simply deserves the same compassion she usually urges for others. Meanwhile, The View's production team senses rising tension as social media commentators question how a moral crusader can show such a mild reaction to her own family's dark secrets.
So, Sunny Hostin, you better watch what you say about somebody else, because your husband gonna be down there with Big Tony on the back of him without his consent. So you better watch what you say. Your husband, these people, the audacity. Her husband is being accused of something that's far more egregious.
Greg Gutfeld uses his show to underscore what he sees as Sunny's hypocrisy, weaving her ancestry shock into a larger narrative about public figures who condemn others but fail to confront their own flaws. He mocks her quick dismissal on PBS, replaying clips to highlight the disconnect between her usual indignation and her current subdued response. As this coverage spreads, fans of The View notice a subtle shift in the show's atmosphere. Producers appear anxious, concerned that Sunny's image may harm credibility or alienate viewers who once praised her consistent moral lens. Social media pulses with questions. Does Sunny's genealogical bombshell undermine her advocacy? Is she applying a convenient double standard by condemning historical wrongs in other contexts, but glossing over her ancestors' actions? Meanwhile, Behar continues her usual comedic routines on air, not directly calling out Sunny's reaction, but gently prodding the topic. She peppers in jokes about genealogical skeletons, referencing how awkward it is to discover questionable ancestors. Each comment draws cautious laughter, but the tension behind the scenes grows. Viewers sense that the show's normal banter now has an underlying friction, and speculation online explodes. Are Joy and Sunny heading for a collision, or can they resolve the conflict quietly? Out of nowhere, Melania Trump files a massive $100 million lawsuit, claiming that various statements damage her reputation. Suddenly, a separate story about legal fireworks collides with Sunny's ancestry crisis. Conservative media outlets, including Gutfeld's, link these two dramas, suggesting that while Melania aggressively defends herself, Sunny sidesteps personal accountability.
You know, I have this huge platform on The View, and I just started thinking about giving voice to the voiceless.
On social media, a new angle emerges. The View co-hosts love to dissect controversies and hold others responsible, so how do they handle this legal bombshell that apparently rattles the show's typical balance? Sunny and Joy now face outside speculation that the lawsuit might target them as well, especially if their on-air commentary about Melania crosses any boundary of defamation. Producers at The View scramble to confirm details, but find nothing concrete. Only swirling rumors that Melania's legal team is watching talk shows for possible ammunition. In typical fashion, Joy finds humor in the situation, making light jabs at the idea of being sued by a former First Lady. But Sunny's mood grows more somber, as her genealogical revelation seems to combine with the threat of legal repercussions. A sense of dread envelops the production staff, who worry that two controversies, one about ancestry, the other about an aggressive lawsuit, could blend into a single flashpoint. That flashpoint arrives during a seemingly harmless segment about public figures facing legal problems. Sunny and Joy sit at the same table, joined by other co-hosts, but their tension sits front and center. Sunny makes a pointed remark about certain jokes that fan public outrage and potentially feed lawsuits against the show. Everyone in the studio sees her glance toward Joy, and a hush falls. Joy, uncharacteristically serious, asks for clarity. Sunny then implies that Joy's relentless comedic jabs about people like Melania Trump invite massive legal targets on The View's back. The atmosphere chills. Joy fires back. How can Sunny critique her jokes when Sunny's own reaction to the slave-holding ancestor set off a media storm in the first place? Joy insists that if Sunny wants consistent standards, she can't label comedic banter as the culprit for a lawsuit while ignoring her own partial silence about her family's past. The live audience holds its breath. Sunny tries to respond, but Joy grows sharper, reminding her that she often condemns moral failings with passion. Except, apparently, when it hits close to home. The studio shakes with a tension that feels electric. Viewers at home flood social media with reactions, exclaiming that Joy destroys Sunny by exposing a glaring double standard right in front of millions. Word of the showdown is spreading like wildfire. Social media is on fire with memes capturing Joy's raised eyebrow and Sunny's stunned pause. Hashtags multiply by the minute, with some praising Joy for her bold confrontation and others accusing her of ambushing Sunny just when Sunny struggles with a painful family truth. Online commentators sift through every frame of the exchange, dissecting the exact moment Sunny shifts blame toward Joy for fueling Melania's lawsuit. Meanwhile, behind the scenes at The View, producers hold frantic meetings. They worry that the meltdown overshadows the show's broader mission and might spark advertiser concerns. Conservative critics, especially on Fox, run the segment repeatedly, insisting this proves the liberal hosts can't sustain their moral positions without turning on each other. Greg Gutfeld gleefully jokes about the cracks in the foundation. Meanwhile, staffers scramble to keep the next episode rolling smoothly, but the entire production crew senses a dramatic shift in the vibe. The feud between Joy and Sunny refuses to disappear. Each day, commentary sites publish fresh takes on the rift, and viewers notice heightened tension whenever the two co-hosts share the spotlight. Joy continues to punctuate segments with her trademark humor, occasionally throwing in remarks about personal responsibility that feel like thinly veiled references to Sunny. Sunny, now under intense scrutiny, wrestles with how to address her genealogy discovery more fully, yet she rarely dives deep on the show. She seems uncomfortable, stuck in the crosshairs of both public criticism and Joy's unsubtle reminders. News outlets point out that Melania's lawsuit still looms in the background, though it's unclear whether her attorneys focus on The View at all. Regardless, the threat of a massive legal claim creates anxiety. Producers dread any new comments that might ignite another wave of claims or public condemnation. pundits across the political spectrum turn the Joy versus Sunny clash into a broader cultural conversation about hypocrisy, comedic boundaries, and the responsibility to confront personal shame. Memes and viral hashtags continue to spread as fans share clips of Joy's unflinching response and Sunny's momentary speechlessness. Even neutral viewers find themselves fascinated by how quickly a genealogy report and a lawsuit can merge into a dramatic daytime standoff. Today, the dust has not fully settled. The tension between Joy Behar and Sunny Hostin still lingers, shaping the atmosphere of The View and fueling an endless cycle of online debate. Fans watch closely to see if the co-hosts can mend their working relationship or if another blow-up is around the corner. Some say Joy has every right to call out perceived hypocrisy, insisting that Sunny must meet the same standards she demands from others. Others believe Joy's public confrontation crosses a line, blindsiding a colleague who grapples with painful ancestral secrets and outside legal pressure. Even so, the aftermath highlights a central truth about daytime television. No matter how meticulously producers plan each segment, genuine human emotion can burst forth at any moment, and the audience witnesses raw conflict in real time. From the revelation of a slaveholding ancestor to the looming presence of a $100 million lawsuit, the story refuses to fit into a neat box. Sunny defends her overall message on systemic racism, but acknowledges the emotional toll of her genealogical discovery. Joy stands firm in her belief that accountability applies universally, even if it embarrasses a friend on live TV. The entire spectacle underscores the precarious line between comedic commentary and personal ethics, showing how quickly unresolved tension can explode into a media sensation. And as ratings inch upward, it becomes clear that viewers tune in not only for political insights, but also to see if this controversy will push The View into uncharted territory, or if Joy and Sunny can find a lasting resolution.